Drive slow on ice and snow. Sponsored by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from Spin on Sports, Michigan Sports Dog Morning Show on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 right here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY. Whether it's Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, Michigan State, the Big Ten, the Mid-American Conference, all the headlines, all the stories, and always Michigan teams first. It's all right here on Spin on Sports, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard locally on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY.
It's time for the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show on Up North Sports Radio with your host, Rich Calkins.
It is time for the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska. Start your stress-free car shopping experience when you search Sarah Kalkaska and Sarah Gaylord. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you this morning. And JC, Traverse City West continues to roll as they took care of business last night with a 62-48 win over Petoskey.
Yeah, really stress-free victory for West. They got something cooking, Rich.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just, like you said, pretty stress-free, kind of cruise mode. Different guys stepping up again. Caden Stoops, the kid that's heading to the IMG Academy for baseball next year, and but wanted to play his senior year of basketball with his teammates because they have a championship in the league, district, regionals, things like that, aspirations.
Yeah.
And it's all coming together.
Yeah, everything kind of looks like it's available to them.
Yeah.
I mean, to get all the way to the state championship is another matter.
Right, exactly. That would be a tall task for sure.
Especially with the lack of size.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
no pun there. But, process and defense and teamwork is paying off big time.
Yeah, and Coach Doug Ballman, of course, gives the kids the total credit. But as you and I know, in basketball, that just doesn't happen by happenstance. It's a program that Coach came in 4 years ago. Like you said, we've talked about before. When we started broadcasting the games, Coach Ballman came in and he said, give me 3 years to build the kind of program I want to build. And this is what you're seeing with the results now.
Well, Rich, you're way closer to this than I am. But from my, 2-mile view from above, they don't make a lot of mistakes.
Right. Yeah.
They don't turn the ball over a ton. They play their system both offensively and defensively, and they kind of wait for you to make the mistakes.
Right. Yeah. That's true. They're very fundamentally sound.
Yep.
They
have to be with the lack of size that they have, and without having a superstar.
Yes.
Like you can have a team like that with one great guy.
Sure.
And like Cadillac last year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've seen it with with the rival kid at TC Central or the Gilo kid in Gaylord. They had one dominant player, but then you rely when you put all your eggs into one basket per se. Then if they aren't able, they're not always able to go off for 35 to 40 points every night. Then that kind of hurts the team concept.
Well, if you have the rest of the team, see, I know I hate to keep referring to it, but, Lansing Everett had Magic Johnson. They had a couple other really good players around them.
They did.
But Bruce Field played Major League Baseball for a long time, and they had Jamie Shoes Huffman, who went to Michigan State.
Yeah.
But, it was Magic and a bunch of Joes, and Larry Bird and a bunch of Joes, Kevin Smith and a bunch of Joes. But the rest of the Joes have to play the great basketball.
Right.
I mean, think about Hoosiers. They were kind of hanging in there.
That's
then
right.
Jimmy Chitwood gets in.
That's right. And then they knew who the go-to guy was at that time.
But give West credit. Like you said, different guys stepping up every week. That's really good, as they're going forward because, if your superstar does have a bad game, where are you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then, from, all these coaches look at film. Well, if they watch 3 different games, they see 3 different guys that, like, who do we guard then?
Yeah.
Who is our defensive stopper going to guard for them? Because if we take this guy out it doesn't matter because another guy's going to go off.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, Coach Ballman's got it set up this year, and things are going really, really well.
And they don't, you know, live and die by the three.
No, they
you know,
do not.
I mean, they actually attack the rim pretty well for a team without a lot of size.
Yes.
And that's probably the really cool thing, that it's kind of like that Cass Tech team we saw a couple years ago, right?
Right.
Great guards, handle the ball well, all attacking the rim, not settling for threes.
That's exactly right. Yeah, when they had those guys had such explosive athletes, it was hard to, if you played man to man, you couldn't stay in front of them.
No,
you needed to help defense, and then once you start sending guys to help, then other guys are open, and most of their scoring's within a 10-foot radius of the basket.
and that's pretty much the way West plays.
It is exactly how
they're
West
not
plays.
lightning fast, but they know their sets, they know their systems, and they're not afraid to give up the ball.
Yeah, that is so true. They are so unselfish.
Yeah.
They don't care who gets the love in the game or how many points people get or anything like that. Everyone's willing to do the dirty work, to set the screens, to do the things, and it just
especially when you're winning.
Winning, exactly. it really all looks good.
It beats losing, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but we have Coach Doug Ballman with a few words of wisdom after that win against Petoskey.
I'm sure it's very few.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Welcome to the Michigan Trailers Coaches Corner. Rich Calkins and Doug Ballman here, and of course Caden Stoops here in just a moment as well. And Doug, I tell you, nice win here tonight against Petoskey, a conference foe that always battles this tough, but you walk away with a 62-48 win. That's you'll take that every time.
Absolutely, especially against Petoskey. They just, Coach Tam does such a good job of just getting them to play hard, and they were aggressive and you know, gave us some fits there early on with their aggressiveness. We lost some rebounds to their steals, and they knocked us off, I think, on the dribble drive a couple times just with that good, strong body. But it was nice. The officials let us play, and we were able to reward ourselves there with a good victory.
Yeah, I tell you, they have a freshman coach, Fraley kid. He doesn't look like a freshman or play like a freshman.
Nope, he's going to be a fun one to watch here in the next couple of years as his development continues, and even throughout this season. You know, that will be another battle when we have to go to their place.
Yeah, Coach Caden Stoops got the scoring started with a big three there, and he had 8 points total in that first quarter. It really got that outside shot rolling, and then everyone else kind of followed suit.
Yeah, he's such a threat anywhere, right? We can post him up. He has that mid-range jump shot that's good. He can get downhill and finish at the basket. He can step out and hit threes, and he really set the tone for the offense tonight, and they just really didn't have an answer, you know, with the sets we were running. He kind of that mid-range turnaround at the free throw line. I think he hit 2 or 3 of those. He stepped out, hit a three. It's just, it's easy as a coach when you got a player like Caden there.
Yep, Coach, you keep stacking wins together. You're able to keep them focused on each and every game. 4-0 in league play now, 10-1 overall. You got to like how this senior ran team is doing so far.
Again, credit goes to the boys. You know, when they're in the gym, when they're playing, when they're banging on my door to get keys to let them in the gym, that's all the credit to these boys. They've really understood each other, how they play. They get the ball to the hot hand. So as much as I'd like to, the credit goes to these boys.
Yeah. Coach, now we don't play again till next Thursday, correct?
That's correct. You have another league game there with Gaylord.
Yeah, so back here at Titan Arena, we have a Thursday-Saturday match. So, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it again. Boys just got done with exams and, you know, some late night studying and just the stress of that. Illnesses are going around. You know, we didn't have Carter for 4 days this week. Yeah. And so for him to show up and play the game that he did was great. You know, just he attacked the rim, he finished well, he rebounded well. Just really, really happy for Carter's performance tonight. Yeah,
that's what we thought too. Under the weather, and for him to come in, score 10 big points, but also battling on the glass like he did and all that. He got our Fox Motors Motivated Player of the game.
Great choice. Yeah, he really showed up tonight and battled well and finished well, and that's something we've challenged him to do this year, and he showed up and he responded the way we wanted him to, and now we just have that expectation every game from him now.
Exactly.
So, which is great for him.
Yeah, once you show it to you, Coach, and show it on film, hey, now that's expectation.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, Coach, and Caden Stoops, I take it, is your Jimmy John's player of the game.
He is, like I said, just a senior leadership. I was joking with him. I think this is the third or fourth post-game Jimmy John's he has, but he just shows up. He's under control. He's calm. He knocks down shots. He plays defense. He had a couple blocks for us. I mean, just overall, just an incredible asset for us.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. And congratulations on another win. We'll talk next week. Let me ask Caden a couple of questions.
Absolutely. Appreciate
All
you
right,
guys. Drive
go
safe.
West.
Go West.
All right, Coach Doug Bauman there. All right, Caden Stoops. Not unfamiliar with this interview process. Caden, congratulations on another big conference win.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just trying to. I was really focused on playing free tonight and just with no expectations and just going out there, and that's what happened. So.
I tell you, Kate, when you hit your first three, that was your first shot of the night.
Yep.
It just seems like things flow after that. You know, you hit that first one. It seems like you're in a rhythm, and again, scoring 20 big points tonight.
Yep. You know, I came into the gym earlier. I had to get some hours for a class, and just came in here and started shooting around. So. Got some good practice in before the game.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it definitely, again, like I mentioned to Coach Bauman there, 8 points in that first quarter really got the whole team rolling. Once you got that hot hand rolling from the outside, then everything else opens up, and then offensively things just started to flow.
For sure, that's what we look to do every time, whether it's me, Lincoln, Mason, like really any of us can get that spark going for the team, and it's just happened to be me tonight. So.
Yeah, well, congratulations on another win.
Thank you.
Let's get another one on Thursday night against Gaylord.
Yes, we will.
All right, sounds good. Caden Stoops, the senior, leading scorer tonight, and our Jimmy John's player of the game.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go, JC. Interview with not only Coach Bauman, but Caden Stoops going off for 20 last night.
Is that his season high? That's probably his career high.
And he barely missed a shot last night. He was red hot. Once he got two. He scored 8 in the first quarter. He made 2 threes and a 2. And I think he missed maybe 2 shots all night long. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
On what he was able to do. And he said he put some extra work in the gym prior to the game.
Stoops hits 88 on the radar gun. Well, maybe he should be playing baseball.
That's exactly right. Yeah, with that kind of arm, and he was disappointed with the offers that came in. So that's why he's going to take that extra year and go to IMG. And as we know, a lot of athletes have gone that route, gone on to big success.
Yeah. So good luck to him. So I got to ask you conversely, Rich, because I didn't really watch much of the game last night. It didn't look like I needed to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but we like Petoskey a lot. Did you see anything positive out of them, or is it?
Oh yeah, they've got a freshman that's their best player. That was real impressive. A kid by the name of Braden Freilich. He's 6'1", 175 freshman, and this kid can jump. He can shoot. He real impressive. He's got great intensity.
Yeah.
This kid, for a freshman, very mature. I mean, 14-year-old kid running out there.
He doesn't look like a freshman.
He does not look like a freshman.
Not even in the face.
Not in the face.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see those kids, like the body is already developing, but they look like
peach fuzz face.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but no, this kid does not look that way at all. In the moment, doesn't look. He looks like he more than belongs. He's their best player.
Wow.
So that's impressive. He's got an older brother that's a senior on the team. But again, this freshman kid is someone to keep your eye on. There's some good things. And
they're having a pretty good year.
They are. They battle, man. I tell you.
I would have lost if I'd been able to bet on the game.
Yeah, they just they come after you. So yeah, they're going to continue to win some games in the Big North for sure. And it'll be interesting when we go up to play up there in a few weeks, up to Petoskey.
Yeah.
And see what that home court advantage does for them.
Well, like we were talking about yesterday with James Cook on the Fick & Sons High School Sportscape show, that the league looks, a little jammed up, but maybe not so much.
Right.
We predicted a much tougher game than what actually occurred yesterday at West. So now everybody is looking up at TC West.
Right, they're 4-0 in conference, but Cadillac at 4-1.
Yeah.
So they're right there, and we'll talk to Coach Benzenberg later on today and get his viewpoint of what's going on. They've had some non-conference losses because play a super tough schedule, so they're 7-4 overall. It's still TC Central. Their only loss in league play so far is against West.
Right.
So again, there are some of those one-loss teams. Those are the 3 teams, though, it looks like it's going to come down to.
Yeah, Central had a nice win. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, Cadillac didn't have any problems with Gaylord, who'd been playing a little bit better basketball.
That's for sure. They did, because they had gone to Petoskey and gotten a big win over there. And as you talk about all the time about how that's quite the rivalry, both football and basketball, Petoskey and Gaylord. So it's going to be a real interesting story this second half. We officially are at the halfway point with 11 games into the regular season.
Just before, I know we're going to go to break, but I want to mention a new sponsor of the show. I wasn't able to download their ads, but Bear Automotive in Gaylord on Old 27 has 65 years of experience in the garage to help you with any of your auto repair needs. They are trusted, fair, and honest. So if you need some car repairs, call Bear Automotive at 989-732-8308.
We appreciate them jumping on board. When we come back on the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, we're going to talk to a first-time guest and a long-time, Tim Resnich of the Frankfort girls team. They beat Mayo last night up at the St. Ignace tournament. So
good.
That's a good win for them.
Yep.
They won 46-42. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska.
Hi folks, Jim Jeffries for Michigan Trailers in Traverse City, Northern Michigan's volume-leading utility trailer dealer. We have over 200 trailers in stock from America's top brands, including SureTrack, Impact, Cargomax, and now offering AirTow. All clearly marked at volume value pricing. Add to that full service, parts, plus accessories, and Michigan Trailers can solve all your hauling needs. See us today on US 31 South across from Menards, Traverse City, or visit us online at michigantrailers.com.
Sarah Ford in Gaylord and Kalkaska kicks off 2025 with super lease deals that you can't pass up. Like a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport for an astounding $345 per month with any trade-in. Sarah has amazing lease deals on the fantastic Ford Escape as low as just $289 per month with your trade-in. Slightly higher for non-Ford employees. Visit Sarah Ford in Gaylord or Kalkaska to find the best price, best rates, and best vehicle selection in the North. Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Kalkaska. Guarantees it.
The Traverse City Record Eagle supports WCMU Public Radio in Traverse City with Total Access Record Eagle subscriptions. Total Access means home delivery of the printed paper, plus on-demand access to local and breaking news and other community publications online or on the app. Find out more at record-eagle.com/subscriptions or call 231-946-2187. That's 231-946-2187. The Traverse City Record Eagle proudly serves 13 counties in northwestern Lower Michigan.
Friday, April 4th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Los Lobos and Los Lonely Boys. I've been lost in my own place. The Brotherhood Tour. Tickets start at $47 and are on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com. April 4th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. East LA meets Texican. The Brotherhood Tour. Los Lobos and Los Lonely Boys. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska. Rich Calkins, Jerry Coyne in studio with you, and joining us now is the head coach of the Frankfort Lady Panthers, Tim Resnich. And hey, Tim, you went up to St. Ignace last night playing in a tournament. You guys got a great win over Mayo, 46-42.
We did. Hey, good morning to you guys. Yeah, that was quite a game. Mia is everything as advertised.
That was going to be one of my questions, Tim. Obviously, when you hold the team to 42, she averages almost 43 a game. So what was the secret sauce last night?
Well, you know, it was what a fun. We just had a fun last couple of weeks thinking about this game, preparing for it. trying to figure out what we were going to do, and I think we really had a great game plan. And I think my girls really executed it very well. They played as hard as they could. There were 2 girls, if not 3, on her all night long, and she still ended up with 40.
So she scored all but 2.
It was amazing. Yeah, every time she puts it up, you expect it to go in. But we really limited how much we let her get into the paint. She still got in there, but most of the damage came from deep, and she missed her share of those. Well, a few of them anyhow, enough for us to get rebounds.
Yeah, and I was doing some research last night after our Traverse City West game, Tim, and that Mayo team is real young with 2 sophomores, 3 or 4 freshmen. So it's almost like Coach McGregor there. She talks about it's basically the ages of a JV team.
All right, they were really young, and, but that works into the game plan. But
right.
Really, as those girls start to get older, and as the younger ones start to figure out a few things, it's going to be really interesting trying to stop that team.
Yeah.
Mia is really something else.
Now,
and she is next level.
Right, Tim. You and I talked at Christmas time. You said your team was right there. They were ready to go on a run because you thought things were coming together, and all of a sudden you won 5 in a row.
Right. And, I do have to rephrase, though. I think we've taken a big step from where we started the season to where we are now, but we still have another big step to take. But they're playing much better. They're starting to see what we were hoping they would see in the offense. Defense is definitely getting better, but there's a lot of room for improvement at both ends.
Yeah. Tim, now, how many of these girls here were on the team last year that made a deep run?
Really, we were in a similar situation. We only have 12 girls in the total program right now.
Wow.
Okay. And last year, I think we were at 15. And so we took all of these girls throughout the tournament except for our 3 freshmen. So there is that experience. Now, a lot of them didn't get to see the court too much, down the stretch, but a little bit here and there, and they were there for the whole thing.
Right.
Which will go a long way,
Yeah, exactly. They got to experience what it's like, pressure situations, how things change the further you go along, and how the intensity gets ramped up.
Right. Well, we need to figure that out. Or remember that sooner than later, because for the past few games, my girls have been playing pretty well, and they've been able to finish for the last minute of play, right, in the last few games. And so last night I think we were up by 9 on Mile, and the girls started to let up with like a minute left, and I went insane. Like, this kid can score 15 in 12 seconds if you give her the ball.
Right.
We have to play every
Isaiah
second
Thomas.
of this game and finish. It was really, it was just a fun experience to be part of that. To play against somebody like that.
Right. Now, Tim, what watching her, and she's just a sophomore now. What does she do really well, and then what are some things that she still needs to work on, in your humble opinion?
Well, her range, she doesn't need to add any to the range, because as soon as she crosses half court, she's a threat.
Okay.
And really, she goes to the hole very well. There were a few instances where it was maybe a little forced inside, and as her teammates develop and she can count on them to knock down that open look, I think that'll help her out quite a bit, where she won't have to force quite as many on the inside too. But really, at one point we were thinking about we've worked on a special full court pressure just for her, of course, and I'm so glad we didn't do it. I thought about it for a second, but to give her any space in the open court, and she will get to the rim and make you pay for it. She knows how to draw the contact. So it was an adventure, but it's been so much fun just preparing for it for the last couple weeks.
Coach, what's the league looking like now?
I think it's wide open, to be honest. There's some good teams. It's Leland's been playing very well. Onekama's been playing very well. Buckley's been playing very well. And we're getting better every time we get on the court. So I think it's wide open at this point. Nobody's running away. We'll see how this goes. We're getting into the thick of it right now. And we'll have 2 conference games a week here for the next several. Well, I think we have St. Francis this coming week, but after that we'll be into almost all conference games. And so we should have a much better feel of how it's going to go here within the next few weeks. But as of right now, it's wide open.
Yeah, Tim, that's what, looking at the standings right now. Yeah, like you said, Onekama, yourself, and Buckley all with just 1 loss in league play, and Leland at 4-0. So definitely right now it looks like a 4-team race to the top. Right. And it should be fun. And we haven't played Leland or Onekama yet. So this is it'll be a lot of fun down the stretch. It's nice it's working out that way. So those last games, there's a little additional pressure, to help get ready for the tournament.
Coach, who's in your district?
I got to be honest with you. I looked at that when the draw came out, but we've been so focused just on the development of our kids. I really haven't looked. And Christy McGregor asked me about that. She asked me about the region yesterday, and I felt like a knucklehead. But I have not even looked yet. I'm worried about way too many other things that,
Actually,
that we have to face right now.
That might be a good thing. Looking at the team day in and day out, and then we'll just get ready for the next team.
No question. We need to get to where I feel comfortable doing what we want to do, and then we'll make them bend to our ways, So at this point, I really haven't even looked at our district, let alone our region. And I'm sure I will sneak a peek sooner than later, but we have our own stuff to get ready for no matter who we're playing.
So what area would you like to improve in the most, Coach?
Well, it's been coming. Everything's been coming along. I still think we can add a little more defensive pressure, especially out on the perimeter. Our defensive rotation dropping down to help out if we're really going to be tested on that today against St. Ignace. Yeah. Which is great. I love it. But it's going to be a real test today. Offensively, we have improved quite a bit, but they're starting to really see all of the different options in the offense that we run. And I think the next real step for that is recognizing that when we do get it inside, we don't have to force it there. We can kick it out because we can actually shoot. If it's an inside-out look and it's a good pass and rhythm, we have some shooters who can knock it down, and we haven't really been able to utilize them. We shot pretty well yesterday. Not great, but better. So I do think we're starting to get there, but, to fire on all cylinders, we're going to need some help from the outside, too. Yeah, Tim, you said you guys play St. Ignace, so they beat Menominee last night, and going back to St. Ignace, you and Doreen Ingalls, the head coach at St. Ignace, you guys have had some great battles in the past. She's like a sister, I love playing against them, and they're always so tough. And we've been coming to this tournament for 3 years now, and we've made the final all 3 years. And so right now we're split with St. Ignace. They got us the first year. Last year, we took the trophy home, and I'm sure they didn't really appreciate that at their own tournament. So I'm expecting the battle today. They're going to give us everything they have, and they have quite a bit. So, it's a really, really nice team. They have inside threats, outside threats. They're aggressive on D. We're going to have to be very disciplined, which is great because last night we totally changed our game plan to play against Mile. A totally different thing, and the girls executed it very well. And today we have to get back to what we normally do. So to have that turnaround in less than 24 hours, what a great challenge. So I love coming up here. I think this is one of the best things that could possibly happen for our team mid-season.
Yeah, Tim, and as you know, the only blemish on St. Ignace's record so far is a 1-point loss to Sault Ste. Marie.
Right. Yeah, I watched that one. Another great game. They're good. They're aggressive. We know what to do. Now it's just a matter of going out and executing, and then nothing will be easy. And again, this is another time where the girls have to play 32 minutes, because if they let up for a few seconds, they're going to make us pay for it. So I love the challenge, and what a great lesson for these kids to learn mid-season.
You might want to make some shots too, Coach.
That will help.
Don't
That'll
forget.
go a long way.
Don't forget about that.
Yeah. That'll go a long way.
Yeah. What time do you guys play, Tim?
The consolation game is at 11:30, and we follow. So I would guess around 1 o'clock.
Excellent. All right. Well, Tim, we appreciate you joining us on the Scoreboard Show. Congratulations on a huge win against Mile last night, and go beat St. Ignace today.
All right on. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Tim Resnich from the Frankfort Lady Panthers does a nice job. He's won 2 state championships there. Coached Miss Basketball there, Brenna Bankston. And so he's coached here, I think, 25 years now, and done a phenomenal job.
Hey, he's heading to the Hall of Fame if he's not in it yet.
For sure. He'll be there. I don't even know what his win total is, but it's
well, he's got it. If he won 2 state championships, he's got at least 45.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. They also, I was checking out some articles on this Mia McGregor from Mile. She scored her 1,000th point earlier in the year in her 25th game. So that's a 40-point average for those 25 games. So that's and like Tim said, I saw that they won 46-42, and I wondered immediately how many Mia McGregor had. She had 40 of the 42. So it's just
that's almost wrong.
And then she plays travel basketball, so she plays in the AAU and plays with higher end players that want to move on and some things like that. So
there was no chance she had a triple-double.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because there weren't enough assists to go around.
Yeah.
But I think she knows. Her whole family grew up in Mile. Her dad won a state championship there. All of that, and so I think there's a little family history in that small town.
No, it's
cool. And they
cool.
want to, and they figure that the experience that she gets in the summer travel leagues and all of that is going to get her enough exposure or whatever she wants to do collegiantly. So those are some of the things.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh, it is. We'll have to have their head coach on sometime.
Yeah, no
so
doubt about it.
I'll reach out to her and see if she's, I believe, a former All-State player. Her husband was an All-State player, so good genes there in that family. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bruce Coltman from the McBain Ramblers. They've only suffered 1 loss on the season. We'll talk to Bruce in a moment. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska.
It's time for the Michigan Army National Guard Hoops and Scoops High School Sports Show. Your future is waiting for you at miarmyguard.com. Michigan Army National Guard, always ready, always there.
The Michigan Army National Guard Hoops and Scoops program. Visit miarmyguard.com today and help plan your future. Chad, unfortunately, not only is Rich Hawkins missing today, but our
This has been the Hoops and Scoops High School Sports Show, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Your future is waiting for you at miarmyguard.com. Michigan Army National Guard, always ready, always there.
If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education or where your talents lie, the Michigan Army National Guard has most of the answers. Your participation in a few yearly training exercises will make you stronger and part of a patriotic team. You will also receive up to $50,000 in scholarships towards your education, including training and placement in exciting tech and medical fields. Build your future and support your country. Apply to miarmyguard.com. That's miarmyguard.com.
Sarah Ford in Gaylord and Kalkaska kicks off 2025 with super lease deals that you can't pass up. Like a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport for an astounding $345 per month with any trade-in. Sarah has amazing lease deals on the fantastic Ford Escape as low as just $289 per month with your trade-in. Slightly higher for non-Ford employees. Visit Sarah Ford in Gaylord or Kalkaska to find the best price, best rates, and best vehicle selection in the North. Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Kalkaska. Guarantees it.
2025 has arrived, and so have unbeatable new deals on Mahindra tractors. Don't miss out on 0% for 84 months plus $2,000 cash back on the all-new 1100 and 2100 series. Or get up to $5,000 cash back on select models, all with no payments for 90 days on any purchase. Hurry into your local dealer. These deals won't last long.
Visit your Mahindra dealer at Zaremba Equipment in Gaylord or online at zarembaequipment.com or Pioneer Diesel in Traverse City or pioneerdiesel.com.
Saturday night, February 15th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Bad of the Bold. The Bad All Over the World Tour. Tickets for George Thorogood start at $40 and are on sale now at the box office and online at etix.com. February 15th, witness the raw six-string swagger of George Thorogood at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. More at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Shopping can be fun, unless you're shopping for insurance. Trying to compare policies can be confusing. Cornell Agency wants to be your personal insurance shopper. Auto, home, life, and recreational vehicles, health, Medicare, and even business. They handle it all. Cornell works with multiple insurance companies, so you know their rates will always be competitive, friendly, knowledgeable, and there when you need them. Give Cornell Agency a call at 989-348-6761. That's 989-348-6761.
Tune in to Red Wings Hockey on Up North Sports Radio.
Brought to you in part by BlueCollarClothingCo.com. Proud to carry only the best of America's long-standing heritage brands.
Red Wings Hockey on 101.1 WGRY, Up North Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to us by Sarah Automotive. Rich, we played the wrong thing. Yeah, we've had a great partnership with the Michigan Army National Guard for a few years here on the Scoreboard Show, and they partnered with us on a brand new award that we're going to give out each week. So let's listen to that presentation.
I'm Staff Sergeant Brown with the Michigan Army National Guard, recruiter for the greater Cadillac area. I'm proud to announce the Michigan Army National Guard Student Athlete of the Week on the Up North Sports Radio High School Scoreboard Show. It's Ben Rodenbaugh from the McBain Ramblers. Congrats, Ben. I'll be dropping by with some National Guard swag. Visit miarmyguard.com to set your career in motion.
And we just so happen to have Ben Rodenbaugh's coach joining us on the show. Isn't that nifty?
It is. That's a great lead up to having Bruce Coltman from the McBain Ramblers here, Coach. Congratulations on coaching Ben Rodenbaugh. Sounds like a great kid.
Yeah, it's a privilege. He's been up on varsity now for 4 years, and it's just been an honor. Really, a lot of credit goes to him. He's been the glue that's held us together the last 4 years. Just a tremendous young man. His work ethic and his character and his leadership.
Yeah, Coach, that's a unique thing for sure, having the Michigan Army National Guard partner with us to honor these kids throughout northern Michigan that are not only good athletes on the court, field, whatever the case may be, but being good overall people in the community as well.
No, absolutely. Just like one example, I could go on with a lot, but we're here this morning running our co-ed basketball league for our 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and he's here coaching with, and he helps out repping when he can, as a bunch of our other guys are. But that just shows you that, even though he's a senior and he's a star player, he still has time to give back.
Yeah. Now, Coach, we're halfway through the season right now. Hard to believe, but you've got the Ramblers sitting at 10-1 right now. What are some things that you like about this team, and what are some things that you'd like to continue to improve upon?
Well, I think the key right now is coming out of Christmas, we really got in some good work, and I feel like we're ascending in the right direction. I mean, I know every team has its, you have your ups and your valleys and whatever. I feel like we're playing where we're capable of playing. We're getting some depth with our young guys. We only returned, what do you got? 3 guys returning. So, 4 guys returning, and only one started. So, and then the Clayton Hooker is getting some good. Or he played a lot last year, but yeah, we're getting some depth, and we got some guys that are really buying in, and we're playing fast, we're playing hard, and we're committed to playing good defense and rebounding, which is what we really try to hang our hat on. So.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, that McBain, the history of that McBain program. You've been there quite a while, Coach, and you've established an expectation. If they're going to play basketball, they're going to do it the right way, and that's carried on year after year.
Yeah, there was a strong tradition when I came back in '94. I feel like we've kind of taken it and tried to get to another level. Just a great community, and you got to look at all of our athletic programs. Our volleyball team was regional finalists this year. Football, I think, finished 10-2.
Yeah.
So it's a great community. It's a great culture here that we have, and it's a privilege to coach here.
Coach, talk about you and the rest of the league.
It's for sure going to be a battle. We won a big game last night that kept us. Currently, we're sitting in second behind Beale City, who we lost to in our third game of the year. Haven't beat Pine River last night, so there's a two-way tie with us and Everett at second place. Like I said, Beale's still in the first place. Pine River's right there. At one time they were 8-0, I believe. And
wow.
They stumbled a couple here, but they're still a very good basketball team, very athletic basketball team. So it's one of those things this year. It's going to go right down to the wire. We're going to have to win on the road. We've played a majority of our games here at home, conference-wise, and we knew we had to hold home court, but we are going to have to get on the road and go earn it too. So.
Yeah, Coach, you do have a few games before that rematch with Beale City, and that will be one of your home games in between kind of a long road trip.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to take anything away from Beale, but having a young team in our third game of the year, we traveled to Beale, and Beale played extremely well, shot the ball well, and we a couple of times we got a couple of little leads in there, but we just didn't know how to play with the lead, and so I feel like we've fixed some of those things, and like I said, our defense and our rebounding has gotten a lot better. So obviously there's things we need to work on. Don't get me wrong, I'll never take my foot off the pedal, but looking forward to that rematch, looking forward to finishing out the conference here, and that's always our goal, is to win a conference championship. That's goal number one.
Coach, who's in your district, and where's it being played at?
Yeah, it's in Houghton Lake, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I couldn't tell you everybody that's in there.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll look at that, honest to God. I will look at that maybe about 2 weeks before the season ends. Really, you got to be honest with you. It's just not a focus of mine right now.
Okay.
My focus is getting better and, like I said, winning a conference championship.
Right. Coach, you're one of those guys definitely that's not afraid to schedule big-time competition in your non-conference schedule, and because that will prepare you for tournament runs. And certainly no different this year, as one of your non-conference foes is going into Cadillac and taking on a much bigger Cadillac team.
Yeah, we tried to get a game down in the Grand Rapids area, and just couldn't get all the logistics to come together. And so we only have 21, and Cadillac's one of those teams that we enjoy playing. They're obviously just 15 minutes west of us.
Yeah.
They have a great program. It's always going to be a great challenge. So looking forward to that one. And last year you saw us play Hamtramck
Right.
I mean, at least we showed up. We didn't play real well. But all honesty, we don't get to the Final Four if we don't play that game. It changed our season. It gave us I give the kids so much credit because we could have went and hung our heads and kind of doubted everything that we had done, and we just dug back in and we came out of there a better team, and we just gradually got better and better, and our confidence soared. And man, we played some really good teams in that tournament run last year, and yeah, that was the best thing to happen to us, honestly. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Coach. It was, it was surprising how easily they handled you, and it didn't leave a great taste in Rich and I's mouth watching that game. I'm like, okay, we're never having them on the show again. I'm kidding, but kudos to you and the kids for really taking it to heart and changing the effort, and like you said, took you all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're that team. I don't know if we're on that line yet. I do love this team. I love our kids. They practice their tails off. I really honestly believe that buying in, and like I say, our goal is always win a conference championship, try to be playing our best basketball come tournament time, and then just try to prepare every day for whoever lays ahead and try to make a run. And I just think it's the confidence that we have in our program from all of our coaches. And I think it's just the confidence our kids have in what we're trying to instill in them all the way up through. So hopefully we make a good run again.
Yeah. Well, Bruce, we do appreciate you joining us here on the Scoreboard Show. We'll let you get back to the youth program going on. And best of luck with the McBain Ramblers, and we hope to get caught up with you later in the year.
Yeah, look forward to it, guys. Thank you for having me, and thanks for recognizing Ben.
Yep. Thank you for
in McBain. So.
Yeah. That guard sergeant will be down there with some swag for Ben and the whole team. So that should be there in the next couple of days.
That's awesome.
All right, great. Thanks.
All right.
All right.
Bruce Coltman from the McBain Ramblers, another state championship level coach.
Yeah. That's funny that he mentioned it because, we had Coach on, and we were excited to see them play against Hamtramck.
Right. In the first half, it was
it was competitive, but oh boy, the wheels fell off. Hamtramck kind of put it into another gear, and McBain really had. They were shell-shocked.
They were. Yeah. They were, absolutely. No other word to describe it. They just all of a sudden, the deer in the headlights look came upon them. But I have a feeling Hamtramck probably did that to a lot of teams. But, again, with when you played one half with them and you got this expectation, you come out after the halftime break, and all of a sudden a switch got flipped by Hamtramck, and it was over.
Yeah, that can be dangerous to get your doors blown off.
Yeah.
And you're looking at that other team, and they're like, these guys are just, everybody on the team is way better than we are.
Yeah.
And, I've seen that before. I played in those kind of games, and more often than not, it doesn't make you a better basketball team.
No, but like Coach Bruce Coltman said, that game helped them more than any game all year, and that shows the sign of what kind of character that team was last year as well.
We want to thank the Michigan Army National Guard for helping sponsor this program and recognizing student athletes. As many of you may not know, you can get up to $50,000 in collegiate benefits by becoming a member of the Michigan Army National Guard. I got to tell you, Rich, real quickly, Sergeant Brown came in here to record this, and we talk about all the financial benefits, the educational benefits, sometimes the camaraderie and the teamwork.
Yes.
But one of the things I'm starting to notice that I don't think people take into consideration if they, want to join the Michigan Army National Guard is the confidence and the determination. There's something about being part of that organization. Like Brown came in here, and this is just a guy that's got his poop in his scoop.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that guy's got a great head on his shoulders. He's confident but kind.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think those are qualities that you learn being a part of an organization like the Michigan Army National Guard.
And it gives you that feeling of part of being a team again, because so many times after high school, you walk away playing high school sports or being a part of organization, and you have nothing. And then, but being a part of this Michigan Army National Guard, all of a sudden you're part of a team again, and it gives you that satisfaction that you've been looking for.
Yeah, no, I've spent a lot of time at a lot of events with these guys and gals, and that's usually what they talk about first before, how much, because a lot of these folks stay in the Guard, they continue to get paid. It's just, it's such a win-win-win across the board that I hope more and more young men and women in our area consider joining the Michigan Army National Guard, because to be honest with you, recruiting is down.
Yeah, it is, exactly, so we do need some numbers to go up for sure. All right, when we come back on the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, we're going to have Ryan Benzenberg of the Cadillac Vikings. I know, it's been a while. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska.
The Traverse City Record Eagle supports WCMU Public Radio in Traverse City with Total Access Record Eagle subscriptions. Total Access means home delivery of the printed paper, plus on-demand access to local and breaking news and other community publications online or on the app. Find out more at record-eagle.com/subscriptions or call 231-946-2187. That's 231-946-2187. The Traverse City Record Eagle proudly serves 13 counties in northwestern Lower Michigan.
If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education or where your talents lie, the Michigan Army National Guard has most of the answers. Your participation in a few yearly training exercises will make you stronger and part of a patriotic team. You will also receive up to $50,000 in scholarships towards your education, including training and placement in exciting tech and medical fields. Build your future and support your country. Apply to miarmyguard.com. That's miarmyguard.com. Sarah Ford in Gaylord and Kalkaska kicks off 2025 with super lease deals that you can't pass up. Like a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport for an astounding $345 per month with any trade-in. Sarah has amazing lease deals on the fantastic Ford Escape as low as just $289 per month with your trade-in. Slightly higher for non-Ford employees. Visit Sarah Ford in Gaylord or Kalkaska to find the best price, best rates, and best vehicle selection in the North. Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Kalkaska. Sarah-tease it.
The new Iron Pig Smokehouse. After months of hard work, Iron Pig has opened on Old 27 South across from Otsego Lake. All your delicious smokehouse favorites, plus an amazing new dinner menu, including the best steaks in the North. And handmade-to-order pizzas create the best dining experience in the North. TVs everywhere keep you in touch with your teams and toast to victory. Welcome to the brand new Iron Pig. Visit Iron Pig Smoke on Facebook.
Get fired up with Detroit Pistons basketball.
Brought to you in part by BlueCollarClothingCo.com. Proud to carry only the best of America's long-standing heritage brands.
Detroit Pistons basketball, right here on 101.1 WGRY, Up North Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you, and joining us now, longtime friend of the show, Ryan Benzenberg of Cadillac. And Ryan, you guys traveled up to Gaylord last night and came away with a big 66-40 win.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Been a couple weeks, so I'm happy to join you guys today. It was a good win for our guys. The zone that Gaylord started playing about halfway through the year was new to us. When we played them earlier in the year, they hadn't been playing that style, so watching some film leading up to it, we thought we could expose the middle of the floor a little bit, and we were able to do that. And it was nice to see the ball go through the rim from deep as well. We knocked down a bunch of threes, so that also helped.
Yeah, Coach, it looks like as far as in the scoring department, according to the Record Eagle, you had a pretty nice balanced scoring attack, and Eli Main had a nice game.
Yeah, Eli got going a little bit. He's last year he was number 6 in Division I in three-point percentage, and for whatever reason, I think some of it this year is he's a little bit more of a focal point of some of the opponents we play. But he struggled a little bit to put the ball in the hoop. And last night he was able to get going a little bit, and I think he was 6 for 8 from 3, so obviously really good percentage as well. But you're right, the balanced scoring is something that we've been searching for pretty much all season, to be quite frank with you, and to be able to have 3 or 4 guys either in doubles or close to doubles just makes it so much harder for teams to focus on. So I think that was a big key to our success last night.
It's what we started talking about at the beginning of the show, Coach. Balance across the whole starting lineup and maybe a shooter or two off the bench makes life a lot easier for you.
Yeah, going into our game Monday at Ludington, we made I am a pretty routine guy, so over my 11 years in Cadillac, I can only think of, I think, 3 times that I've monkeyed with my starting lineup mid-season like this. But we did make a lineup change going into our game Monday in Ludington. We moved Bailey Wade, my 6'4", 3-year varsity player, to the bench as our 6th man, and we inserted our 6'6" freshman Dominic Wing. And the thought behind that was to bring a little bit more offense, to distribute the ball a little bit better on the offensive end, but also would help our rotations a little bit from a defensive perspective. And Dominic didn't score much last night, but he had 15 Monday in his first varsity start, and more importantly, Bailey Wade was awesome. He had 5 rebounds Monday and 4 or 5 rebounds last night and defended really well. So far, the change seems to be helping us all around, so hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, Coach, you've got St. Francis at home again visiting you at Cadillac, and then you go on the road to Central later next week. And so taking on 2 of the 3 Traverse City schools. St. Francis, as you know, well coached and always has a player or 2 that you have to keep your eye on.
Yeah, no, I talking with Coach Finnegan and Coach Schuba this summer. We see each other around, and we became pretty good friends throughout the last couple of years. And I do know he's got some guys. Obviously, their record doesn't reflect where they want to be, but they'll be really buttoned up. They'll have us scouted fully. They'll know exactly what we're trying to do. So, in my opinion, whoever executes the best in that particular game will probably have the upper hand. And looking ahead to Thursday, this will be our first go-around with Traverse City Central this year. Obviously, they have a really nice record. They've played well early so far halfway through the season. I think they're 8-3 or 7-3, something like that. And the teams that have beat them are pretty formidable in the Division I ranks. So it'll be a really good battle. I know Coach Johnson pretty well as well, and he has them playing extremely hard. They get up in your face 94 feet, and they'll keep coming at you at waves. So it will be important to play in that game, in my opinion, early. I've got them scouted a little bit, but whoever plays at the pace they want to play at will probably be in the driver's seat. If this game's played in the 60s and 70s and 80s like they like to play, they'll probably have the upper hand. If we can keep it in 40s, 50s, high 50s, I think we'll have an advantage. So I think whoever executes their game plan or their style of defense the most in that game will win. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention next Saturday, a week from today, we have our 3rd annual Jeff McDonald Showcase at our place in Cadillac. Only have 3 games this year, but we'll be playing a downstate Williamston team who is not too far removed from a state championship. So big week for us to make a jump in as we continue to climb our mountain.
Who are the other teams playing in that event, Coach?
Yeah, so we have a couple local guys. Josh Crocker and Kevin Ball from Elk Rapids and Benzie will play the first game. Then Coach Tam from Petoskey will come down. They're going to play Saginaw Swan Valley, and that's my stomping grounds. My brother is actually the junior varsity coach at Saginaw Swan Valley, so have a pretty good relationship with those coaches down there. So excited to welcome a team up from the mid-Michigan area that has a little bit of roots to my growing up, and then we'll take on Williamston in the 5 o'clock game.
Coach, going back to what you just said about, you guys want to play at a particular pace. You don't want to get it into a track meet. Is it designed for you to stay in sets longer and keep the ball away from your opponent, or what is your philosophy around there?
Yeah, so we focus on a couple of things, particularly with our length. We feel like if we make a concerted effort to crash the offensive glass,
right,
that will keep teams having to be a little bit more disciplined to take care of their defensive glass. So if we offensive rebound well, on the season, we're averaging about 8.5 to 9 offensive rebounds a game.
That's good.
And we're giving up about 3.5 to 4. So that's right where we want to live. So that's one of the things we really focus on, is making them really, really account for us on on our opponent's defensive glass. And then we work on transition defense every single day for about 4 to 6 minutes. We have 3 or 4 different drills that we really, really focus on. If we aren't able to secure an offensive rebound, we put a real high premium on our transition defense, and it's something that is a focus for us. So I think those 2 things, and then obviously taking care of the basketball, not turning the ball over where we're giving runouts. We just want to make teams have to work for the opportunities they get. We don't want to give anything free away. We're not perfect at it, but those 3 things are 3 things that have helped us keep the pace that we want to play up.
Totally surprised that you accept the fact that you give up 4 offensive rebounds a game, Coach.
It's something that we really, really focus on, and I get really frustrated when we give them up, I can tell you that.
It's the worst.
It is. It's so demoralizing, giving up offensive rebounds.
The biggest problem with the University of Michigan's basketball team this year, is giving up untimely offensive rebounds. But
could not agree more.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. I'm an avid Michigan State basketball follower, and I could not agree more with that.
Yeah.
On the other end of it, Izzo, he's a guy that doesn't accept that.
No,
and I think that's a big reason for their success.
No, there's no doubt about it. Izzo has built that team on rebounding. They've been able to get away with turnover problems by the way they dominate on the glass, and makes up for bad. Look at rebounding can make up for a ton of problems.
Sure. It's funny. I think it was after the Oakland game, maybe. It might have been even Greg Campy that was talking about it when Oakland and State played. We have not shot it well in the first third to half of the season, and our guys are frustrated because we're better shooting team than we've shown. And I think Izzo or Campy, one of them, we actually clipped it and showed it at film one day, talked about it's better to not shoot it well early so you can figure out ways to have to win games.
Right.
So when you get later in the season and you are shooting it well, it makes it that much easier. So I hope that rings true for us, and we're starting to shoot a little better. Monday we were pretty good at Ludington, and last night we shot it really well. So hopefully that continues for us as we take on the second half of the season here.
I just used to call it another pass, Coach. The shot goes up, and somebody go get it.
That's right. Yeah. Hey,
That's
Coach.
funny.
Yeah, you mentioned Elk Rapids earlier. One of the teams coming to the showcase. They're coming off that big win last night against Boyne City, 51-44. So that'll be a fun team to be there as well.
Yeah, actually, I have. That was my very first. My second high school coaching job was at Elk Rapids back in 1998. I was a freshman coach for a couple of years and JV coach for a handful of years as well. So that's a school that is near and dear to my heart. Actually, I have a close work colleague whose son does the JV varsity fifth quarter deal with Elk Rapids. So I keep my eye on the Elks and see how they go. And actually, I would consider consider Josh Crocker, the head coach at Benzie, a really close friend of mine as well. So to be able to bring 2 programs that I still keep my eye out for and care about when they're not playing the Vikings is exciting for me personally.
Yep, and Benzie really battled Glen Lake last night in a very close game.
Yeah, talk about Glen Lake, huh? I know Josh out at Benzie has some young kids up. The future's going to be bright for them, but the Plumondon kid is a handful out at Glen Lake. I saw what he did at Sacred Heart earlier in the week, and he's going to be a real problem over the next year and a half, I can tell you that.
Yep, for sure, Coach. Well, we always appreciate spending time with you, Ryan. Best of luck against the 2 Traverse City schools and then hosting the Jeff McDonald Memorial Showcase.
Thanks, guys. Jerry, you guys have a good day. Thanks for having me on, Rich. I appreciate you guys. And again, I say it every time I join you. Thank you for all you do for Northern Michigan high school kids.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, Coach. It's always a highlight. Thank you.
It is.
Take care.
All right, see you. Ryan Benzenberg of the Cadillac Vikings, always gracious with his time. Love talking to Ryan every time.
Yeah, he's a gym rat. All these guys are, we keep saying it, Rich. We're so fortunate to be able to reach out to these guys and have them come on the show and talk honestly about their programs, and we feel so comfortable about how they are influencing in such a positive way these young men and young ladies. So kudos to them. I don't think we've seen a bad apple in the bunch.
Agreed. Yeah, so fortunate all around North Central Michigan. All of the coaches and assistant coaches and JV coaches that we run into, quality individuals that are excellent role models for all of our youth. coming up.
Yeah, I got a couple of shout-outs before we get out of here. Again, thanks to Northern Bear Automotive Repair in Gaylord. 65 years of mechanical experience. They are honest and reputable. Give them a call at 989-732-8308. And then our buddy Ian Murphy, who owns both Iron Pig Smokehouses. They have a new location across from Otsego Lake, south of town, right off of Trail number 7 there. A lot of snowmobilers have been showing up there. So the Lions game is tonight at 8 o'clock, if you didn't know. There's like 2 articles about the Lions in the Record Eagle today about a fan.
Yeah, well, I love talking about Shani Creek yesterday, and she talked about the chairlifts, people going up the chairlifts. Jared
Goff. Yeah.
I mean, that was hilarious. That was the first time for that one.
But if you're going to watch the game tonight, you can go to either Iron Pig Smoke location in downtown or on Old 27, and for how many points the Lions score, you get that percentage off your bill.
Wow.
So if the Lions have a big, 44-point output, you're getting 44% off your tab at Iron Pig.
That's pretty cool. Tying it to that's awesome. What a
right.
great, that's ingenious, man.
And both locations have great TVs, full bar. The new location south are making pizzas, and they have a few steaks on the menu that are really good. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also coming up here, I think it's at 4 o'clock, is the Red Wings on Up North Sports Radio. But for your listening experience, the Lions pregame will start at 7:15. That's on Q100 Michigan, our rock and roll station.
And I say it every week. That is a great listen.
Yeah.
Dan Miller and the crew there do a spectacular job covering the Lions.
Yeah, actually, right here, the Pistons will be on playing Phoenix at 4 o'clock, and then the Red Wings are on at 7.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so we appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be right back here at 10 a.m. next Saturday. So, you've been listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Sarah Ford of Gaylord and Sarah Ford Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Kalkaska.
This has been the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show, presented by Sarah Ford of Kalkaska and Gaylord for stress-free car shopping. Join us next Saturday at 10 with host Rich Calkins. Nobody loves high school sports like Up North Sports Radio.
Easier, in my opinion, to match up with Riley Leonard in some of the RPO game, things like that, and that makes him so effective. So that's what would concern me about Notre Dame's chances to win it outright. And if you told me Notre Dame doesn't cover my 8.5, that's to me how it happens. Not that their defense just gets destroyed by Jeremiah Smith, and we can talk about him, unbelievable talent, in a second with some of the most popular prop bets. But that would be the difference for me and why I feel less confident that Notre Dame could pull it off.
Yeah, listen. I think Quinn Ewers, I'm trying to figure out what he's doing.
Wow, yeah.
How are you turning down $8 million at NIL, brother?
Do you think that? But see, here's the thing. I don't think that's a real figure, because I'm with you. If you're Quinn Ewers, why go get drafted? Go get drafted at the 3rd or 4th round. Why wouldn't you stay in college and go get some money? I wonder if it was too late in the process, man. A lot of rosters had been filled out.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. It's hard to know what's real and what's fake in today. Because even Carson Beck's number was 4 million, and then it was 3.6 million, and then in 4 months it's going to be 2.8 million. And yeah, man. Now I do think these figures will be more real with the revenue sharing, right? When that kicks in.
That's a mess, right? That's a mess right now too. You and I could spend a whole hour talking about the latest with that ruling this week, and it's going to be really interesting to see with the Title IX implications.
No question about that. They got to figure all that out. But yeah, man, I thought Quinn Ewers had a disastrous game, and I was extremely disappointed in Steve Sarkisian. Not only that he didn't use Arch Manning in that package there at the goal line, right, where they ended up turning it over, but that he didn't have any packages for Arch at any point in the game other than that one first down run, which, by the way, they were effective. He went in there and he got the first down. Quinn is a Statue of Liberty back there, bro. Like, he is not a threat to ever leave the pocket. I know he had one first down run, but he is just